The room is silent as you stand on your prayer mat. You raise your hands, leaving the world behind. Alhamdulillah. Before your breath even settles, a response echoes from the heavens. You are not speaking into a void. You are engaging in a direct, intimate dialogue with your Creator. This is the secret of Al-Fatiha. It is not merely a ritual or a sequence of memorized verses. Every time you utter Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the Most Merciful acknowledges your praise. When you declare Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in, you are forging a sacred pact of total reliance. In this moment, the veil between you and the divine thins. But there is an observer in the shadows. Shaytan watches your lips move, his face twisted in fury. He knows the weight of these words. He knows that a heart connected to its Lord through this surah becomes an impenetrable fortress against his whispers. He cries out in bitter defeat. As long as you recite with presence, you are completely untouchable. Your prayer transforms from a chore into a lifeline. Your life shifts from chaos to alignment. Do not rush. Feel the response. You are in a conversation that changes everything. You begin to recite Al-Fatiha. This is not just a chapter. It is the mother of the Qur'an. As you utter Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, the unseen veil finally lifts. The Lord of the world speaks back. My servant has praised me. You continue, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and the response follows. My servant has glorified me. This is a conversation, not a ritual. In the shadows, Shaytan paces, watching. He knows the weight of these 7 verses. Shaytan whispers, trying to pull your mind toward the world. But this surah anchors the soul. You reach the core. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Allah declares, this is between me and my servant. You are no longer alone. You ask for the straight path. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Acknowledging that faith is a daily need for light. Each word becomes a pulse of peace, a direct line to the Creator. When you finish, the world feels different. You stood before your Lord, and He answered you. Do not rush the next time you stand. Listen to the silence. This is the opening of your heart. A man stands in a quiet room, facing the direction of prayer. He raises his hands to his ears, physically shutting out the noise of the world. In this stillness, he begins to recite. His voice is steady, rhythmic, and clear, marking the start of a sacred connection. He begins with the opening words of Surah Al-Fatiha. This is not just a ritual. It is the heartbeat of his faith. Scholars call it al-Qur'an, the mother of the book. Every single day, he returns to these verses, finding the core of his entire belief system within them. He speaks of mercy, acknowledging a power far greater than himself. He speaks of worship, dedicating every action to the divine. Guide us to the straight path, he whispers, seeking clarity in a complex life. He finds hope in the promise of compassion and feels the weight of the warning against straying. Without these verses, his prayer feels empty, like a structure missing its foundation. It is here, in the heart of the surah, that his soul finds its true direction. As he finishes the final word, he bows his head. The cycle of his day is anchored. He stands up, ready to face the world again, carrying the essence of the surah in his every step. The bridge between struggle and purpose is complete. You stand in the quiet corner of a room, facing the direction of prayer. Silence surrounds you. You raise your hands, signaling the start of your salah. As you begin to recite Al-Fatiha, the air feels different. You say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. In that exact moment, the Creator of the heavens and the earth responds, My servant has praised me. You continue, your voice steady, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Immediately, the answer echoes in the unseen. My servant has glorified me. You reach the heart of the prayer, the bridge between you and the divine. Iyyaka nabudu wa iyyaka nasta'in. The response comes back. This is between me and my servant. This is not just a series of words or a rhythmic ritual. It is a direct, living conversation. You are not alone in this space. Every syllable you utter is met with an immediate reply from the Lord of the worlds. As you finish the surah, the weight of the world lifts. You have just spoken to the one who holds your life in his hands. The connection is real, immediate, and profound. The prayer hall is silent, save for the rhythmic breathing of the congregation. You stand in the front row, hands folded, preparing to recite Al-Fatiha. Suddenly, a sharp memory of an unfinished task flashes in your mind. You blink, trying to refocus, but the distraction lingers. In the shadows, a presence watches. Shaytan knows the weight of these 7 verses. To him, Al-Fatiha is not a ritual. It is a bridge that shatters human pride and binds the believer directly to the Creator. He paces the aisles, whispering doubts to keep you from the depth. Scholars recount his profound despair on the day Al-Fatiha was revealed. He wept out of pure terror, realizing that a heart understanding these verses severs his influence forever. When you recite Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, you declare total dependence on Allah. In that moment, there is no room for his whispers. He distracts you during salah because he fears the clarity that follows. If you truly grasp the power of these 7 verses, your prayer ceases to be a habit and becomes an impenetrable fortress. He knows it. That is why he fights so hard, one whisper at a time. A man sits alone in a dimly lit room, his head bowed low. His hands tremble as he grips a prayer mat, the weight of 1,000 failures crushing his spirit. Months of searching for answers have led to nothing but silence. He hesitates, terrified that his past mistakes have finally locked the doors of hope forever. He looks toward the ceiling, his lips moving without sound. Searching for the right words, he remembers the names he was taught as a child. He whispers, Ar-Rahman. Suddenly, the heavy silence shifts. He realizes existence is not defined by wrath, but by an infinite, universal mercy that sustains every living thing on this earth. The weight of his anxiety begins to lift. He continues, Ar-Rahim. He acknowledges that this mercy is not just a distant concept, but an intimate care directed specifically toward those who turn back. He stops looking at his own shortcomings and focuses entirely on the boundless nature of the one he is finally addressing. He stands up and unfolds the mat. He no longer prays out of desperation, but out of absolute trust. The fear of abandonment vanishes, replaced by the certainty of a Lord who listens. His breathing is steady as he walks toward the door. He is ready to face the world again, knowing he is never alone. A man stands at a busy city intersection, clutching a map that no longer makes sense. The streets defy the lines on the paper. He turns left, then right, his heart racing as the sun begins to dip below the horizon. The towering glass buildings around him all look identical. He wipes sweat from his brow. Being on the road is not the same as knowing the destination. He reaches for his phone, but the battery blinks red and dies. Silence grows in the long shadows. This mirrors our spiritual journey. We wake with prayer, but the world quickly intervenes. By noon, a deal tempts us to lie. By evening, a conflict tests our patience. The straight path is not a paved road. It is a narrow trail that shifts under our feet with every choice. Without seeking direction, even the strongest resolve crumbles. He stops. He closes his eyes and lowers his head, whispering a prayer for guidance. He is no longer relying on his own strength. In this quiet moment, the weight of the world lifts, and his internal vision finally clears. He takes a step forward. Guidance is the breath of the soul, needed with every single heartbeat. The final verse of Al-Fatiha echoes against the cold mosque walls. The Imam pauses, scanning the silent congregation before stepping toward a dusty, leather-bound book resting upon a small wooden table. He points to a passage on the 2 paths. First, the scholars of old, who debated every law, but turned their backs on truth to protect their status. Their vast knowledge became a wall, not a bridge. Then, he gestures to the young men in the back. They burn with sincerity, yet they ignore the prophets, following their own whims. They run fast, but they run in the wrong direction, lost in unguided rituals. The book closes with a sharp thud. Knowledge without obedience is a hollow shell. Worship without guidance is a ship without a rudder. He walks toward the exit, leaving silence in his wake. The believer must hold truth in one hand and sincerity in the other. To drop either is to lose the way. The transformation of Salah narrator. Imagine praying every Salah, understanding every verse, feeling every word, knowing Allah is responding to you. Suddenly, Salah is no longer routine. Standing on the prayer mat, your mind races with unfinished tasks and lingering anxieties. You recite the words of Al-Fatiha, but your lips move faster than your heart. The cycle repeats at noon, at dusk, a mere routine. It is just a box to be checked before the long day ends. One evening, you pause. You stop rushing. You open a book to read the translation of the very first chapter. You learn that Al-Fatiha is not just a ritual, it is a conversation. You realize that when you say, Alhamdulillah, you acknowledge the source of every breath. When you say, Iyaka na'budu, you are finally declaring your absolute, singular focus. The next time you stand, the room feels different. You slow your pace, letting each word settle in your chest. You are no longer speaking into a void. You are responding to the Creator. The weight on your shoulders shifts. The anxiety dissipates. In prostration, you find a clarity you have never known. The routine is gone. Salah is now your sanctuary. The prayer mat is laid out in the quiet corner of the room. You stand tall, hands raised to your ears, shutting out the noise of the world. As you begin to recite Al-Fatiha, your breath slows down, finding a calm rhythm in the silence. You start with Alhamdulillah, acknowledging the Creator of all existence. Every word is a step forward, a bridge between your soul and the infinite. Feel the resonance of the praise as it echoes within the stillness of your mind and spirit. When you reach Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, you stop for a heartbeat. You are not just reciting, you are making a declaration. You stand before the One who knows your hidden struggles and your silent hopes. Do not let your tongue race ahead of your heart. Feel the weight of each syllable. As you ask for guidance to the straight path, imagine the distance between you and the divine shrinking. This is not a ritual to be finished. It is a conversation to be cherished. In the stillness that follows each verse, He is answering you. Take your time. Let the words settle deep. This is the opening of your heart.
May Allah bless you all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Islamic Stories TV. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.